Bit of a pause and they look around and try and get organised. It's going to be advantage at some point, Ben Healy.
Well, I said get to this point with 20 seconds and he's going to be very difficult to be brought back. Hershey's now distanced himself. This is the time, if McNulty's got the legs, he has to go now, in my eyes. Van Wilder, Carapaz is just following. So it's big advantage here for Ben Healy to take this all the way. You will get a case of a lot of looking behind, but I tell you what, you know, Jumbo-Visma have got, you know, another great talent there with Archie Ryan.
Yeah, he was looking behind. There were no teammates there. And here he goes. Brandon McNulty makes his move.
He has
Carapaz marking.
Has to in this part. Maybe a fraction too late, but he's got Carapaz for company. Archie Ryan, I think Jorgensen trying to come across here, but he's not overly committed. Why? Well, look, Carapaz, you have to drag him. You're not going to get rid of him. So he's going to just jump on at absolutely everything. So if you want to win this bike race, you'll have to you get a good time trial, McNulty. Then you have to do a lot of the riding because you want to limit things to Ben Healy. Ben Healy gets 40 seconds, 50 seconds, then game on. But Brandon McNulty's got a good time trial in him, and he can bring that back that time. So he has to do it now. And just because Carapaz was on his wheel, we just decided that I'm going to knock this one off.
Just as things clear up in the hierarchy of the top climbers and stronger riders, so does the weather. The sun is out the top here. We're seeing beautiful views as maximum points yet again are taken by Ben Healy. He now has 10 points in the King of the Mountains competition, but it's not that he's after here. He wants stage win. He wants yellow jersey. And behind, that hesitation we said might come is coming again. I'm looking behind and I cannot see the race leader yet. Here he is, in fact. If he gets a few teammates with him, then we might see people working together, but does he have anybody with him? There in front of him at the minute is 164, who's a local rider from Luxembourg, Arthur Klukels.
Yeah, I just think he's hoping, fingers crossed, there's people there that can drag him back. But Mark Hershey has to commit again now. He committed on the climb, but he has to keep on committing now. A lot of looking behind, around. Nobody wants to commit. But if you've got Brandon McNulty there, Hershey has to continue.
And the yellow jersey's on his way back, so he's not too far off again. I'll say it once more, this has been a good ride from Søren Kragh today. We remind you that they don't have to go all the way up that climb again.
McNulty went to the back and just went bang. It's probably his best chance of trying to get rid of Carapaz. Actually, Ryan is on his case, but here comes Carapaz, and if Carapaz, in his mind, he just wants to get the back wheel of Brandon McNulty.
Ryan's burying himself. Again, he's showing his talent. It's an all-Ireland show here in Luxembourg. And McNulty realises he's about to have company.
Stop looking behind. You commit yourself. You have to commit. Don't worry about who you drag with you. You have to cut this time gap down to a big danger man in front, Ben Healy, if you want to win this race. And Carapaz dug deep there. Actually, Ryan as well. Great job he's done in the mix here. But Carapaz has done his job now. If McNulty looks behind, then he's going to give up.
Archie Ryan, who's 21. You don't know too much about him. He was just off the podium last year in the Tour de l'Avenir. He won a stage this year. He, of course, has been racing with Jumbo-Visma development team.
No. There's she attacking now.
Here's she going now. I'll finish the point about Archie Ryan in a moment, because this is Dylan Teuns, who we've seen for the first time on our screen this week here. He's always a man interesting. And if these two work together, then things could change again.
Yeah, you want to encourage, with that attack over the top there, you want to encourage, he's already tried to commit to McNulty. You want to encourage riders to kind of ride through. If you attack like this, it doesn't really kind of help. Look at the group behind. Hershey has been struggling a little bit. He's done a lot of riding. Teuns, very strong rider and, you know, a danger man.
But here is Søren Kragh coming back, 26 seconds from Ben Healy, the Irish star of the day so far, to the next group. And well, the other Irish star I was just talking about, Archie Ryan. Yes, he's in a Jumbo-Visma jersey now. I'm talking about what he did at the Tour de l'Avenir last year in the GC. This year, winning the stage. Next year, he won't be wearing the Killer Bee outfit, though. He is on his way to EF Education Easy Post. He will be a teammate of Richard Carapaz. He will be a teammate of his compatriot Ben Healy. What a signing, eh?
Yep. I think it was last year he won a stage of a race. I can remember because he was riding for the development
Tour of
team.
Slovakia?
Yeah, that was it. I watched the Tour of Slovakia, and I think don't know who was commentating. He didn't know who it was. It turned out it was the wee Irish guy.
Well, what a victory, of course, that would have turned out to be. He's right up there here again. Strong climber, as we saw in the last two editions of the Under-23 Tour de France, essentially. So these two, who've both done things in the biggest Tour de France, both stage winners. Dillard turns behind, accompanying Mark Hirschi, but still 26 seconds behind Ben Healy. What's left in the tank here?
Yeah, you have to say there, Carapaz maybe suffering a little bit, but kind of missed that one there. He was so concentrated on Brandon McNulty.
12.2 Ks to go. The prey is up ahead. Is there the power to flap towards him?
You have to say, if these two get up there, Hirschi and Towns, come the time trial tomorrow, I still fancy Ben Healy.
Let's not forget there's another stage on Sunday as well. And look at this, it's coming back together rather quickly. Those time gaps not fully reliable, I'd say now. Felix Gall right inside, going towards the back of the group. Everybody working hard in this group. There's Michael Woods just in front of Søren Kraup. Tischbenot is on his wheel. Nolte sitting in there, Ryan sitting on the wheel of Carapaz. And now here Jorgensen. Now what happens here? Because Carapaz can try and come through and just put the brakes on a little bit.
Yeah, but look behind as well. There's another group coming up, so teammates are coming up, and it'll depend on who's there, what teams are there, because this is the last chance. If you get any teammates and you're a GC contender behind coming up, you send them straight to the front, no matter what, and just cut this gap down. You don't want to give Ben Healy 40 seconds into the time trial tomorrow, and all he's thinking about is, trying to win the stage, trying to gain some time. Hirschi's already done a lot of kind of good riding for McNulty, but McNulty left it. He couldn't get rid of Carapaz, and that was the kind of thorn in his side. He wasn't taking Carapaz anywhere. And now we've got a general regrouping, so I think Ben Healy may have done enough here to try and take the stage victory, but by how much, that's the thing. Because I think in the reformation of the group behind, I think these two might be swept up in the run in towards the finish. But it's who's got teammates and who's willing to ride, because Ciccone wasn't there. He was there and thereabouts. Has he got any little Trek riders to kind of help him out a little bit? So let's see. It's going to be, I think, a bit of a nail-biting finish. If you're Irish, of course.
Well, for anybody, it's been an exciting race today. Certainly after two fairly conservative days, I think nobody will get upset as for saying. 10 kilometres to go then. Here's Ben Healy. Nobody else in sight yet. 20 seconds at least. Looks to be a bit bigger than that now for me. Chasing in Dillard turns, and Mark Hirschi. It's an Irishman in front, a Belgian and a Swiss national champion chasing behind. Then you've got the rest of the group. Here we go. Hirschi's been not quite back to his very best that we saw at the Tour de France, but there's been a marked improvement this year after, well, pretty anonymous year, 18 months.
Definitely, he's started to show some good form. You're now starting to see the chase behind now, swelling in numbers, and Lotto Destiny, Van Sevenant, heel rides of Van Wilder's here, and Van Wilder was in that front group, so there'll be a few riders that will start to ride, and this gap will start to come down, and I think they possibly may sweep up the two between. It's whether Ben Healy can kind of hang on for the win, but if he does hang on for the win, I don't think it'll be by much.
Well, he's getting up to a section now where he's on the descent. Here he is. This is opportunity to take a breather, but he's got to pick the right lines, because every second counts here. Thankfully for Healy, it's the descent, or the sort of descent, that is just about steep enough downhill where you don't have to pedal.
Yeah, I don't think there'll be too much of a changing gap. Everybody will be going down pretty much at the same pace down this descent down to the river.
And it's that section drag on the flat, yeah.
Yeah, that long drag by the river, that's the crucial.
Talk of 18 seconds, moving again to 20 to the pair we were looking at. Look at this, 100 k's an hour. Hold on, don't take your hands off the bars. Not at 100 k's an hour, please. No sooner were they at the top of the hill, they down the bottom of it again. Through the town, by the river, and onto the road to Vianden. Healy stealing a march again on turns here, who just lost that little bit of a few metres. We're seeing the group behind gaining 3 or 4 seconds back. Just under 7 k's to go. And that's why the gap opened up. This time hands were on the bars, thankfully. Here's Ben Healy then, 17 seconds to 37 seconds back to the yellow jersey. This is the key moment now, Brian, for Healy. He's got to keep the power down here. He cannot afford to run out of gas right now.
It's just unfortunate, it's this kind of long straight. If this was kind of maybe lumpier, hillier in the way into the finish, you would favour kind of Ben Healy, but 6 kilometres of pain, so maybe about 8 minutes to the finish, maybe a little bit more with the uphill finish, but yeah, this will be squeezed all the way in towards the finish. There won't be big time differences, and it is a nail biter. It's not guaranteed that all of these riders will be brought back, but what a terrific job that Ben Healy has done. It's asking the question, and we look at the group behind. When I said it needs teams to start riding on the front, it doesn't look as if they want to.
Looks like Jumbo-Visma the only team here. Sam Omen. Is he strong enough?
Well, I mean, Nolte's not going to ride. Van Wilder is there in 3rd place. The only team are going to ride Sam Omen with Jumbo-Visma in the yellow. Who else? Everybody else kind of sitting back, and this is suiting the riders to the front. I thought maybe the bunch would come off that climb and the teams would just send their teammates to the front to bring it all back a lot closer, but although it's been squeezed a little bit, 38 seconds, 40 seconds now, 16 seconds, he's holding them off. This is the crunch time, this long drag. If he can get over this long drag, then he's got a big chance.
This is Ben Healy territory, these drags that go uphill where he can put the power down. He gets nice and aero as well. He's got a busy style, but you can see he looks after everything, doesn't he? He's got the skin suit on, the radio down the front. He thinks about everything, and he's trying to just put as much power out as possible and eke out that advantage. He has eked out another couple of seconds here.
Yeah, Mark Hirschi, he did a lot of riding on the climb. He got distance over the top of the climb. He came back, went on the attack. His legs are really hurting. He's looking back constantly to see where the peloton is. They're making hard work of it. It is hard. Ben Healy, as you said, looking at everything he can get out of this. Very difficult when he's on his own like this. He is very kind of aerodynamic. He takes a look around, but he's one of these riders it's very difficult to bring back. Up to 22 seconds. So this is the crunch point, as we said earlier, that on this track, if he can just hold this advantage, then he could be winning the stage and taking the yellow jersey.
Gap to 22 seconds again. 5 seconds taken back for the race leader Ben Healy on the day on those chases on this drag. He's got 46 seconds on the yellow jersey group. He has 20 seconds now on the pair chasing him. Make that 24 as I finish the phrase. There's just 4 kilometres to the line now. Ben Healy can do this. He's about to dive downhill again. Another kilometre or so of flat, and then he's going to climb to the line. Is there enough gas left in the tank to finish the job? Another long-range attack. Can he take his first win on the road since winning the Nationals?
They aren't too far away, but at the start of this, you know, they brought it down to 17 seconds, and that drag was crucial there. Going over the top, and Ben Healy, and I think the other two, the closer we get to the finish, the other two start to look at each other. But you have to question a lot of teams here, Rob. I'm sitting on the fence at the moment. I'd love to see Ben Healy take it. He really deserves it, but come on. There's teams here with multiple riders. Why are they not just telling their teammates to get to the front, or the sports director to get to the front, bring this gap down? Because if you bring it down and you finish 20 seconds behind, Ben Healy's still 20 seconds behind, then you get time trial in another state, you're still in with a chance, but nobody's committing. I think in another race, I was very critical of AG2R Citroën. I'm going to be very critical again with them. They've got big numbers there. This is the Queen State. This is the big stage that can make a difference. Time trial tomorrow, and they're just sitting back. I think they've got about 4 riders in that group behind.
Too many cooks spoiling the broth because they've got big leaders.
You should be only one cook, and that's the sports director. Just tell 2 of them, get to the front, bring this gap down. Even if you don't win, bring this gap down, because it looks as if they're going to be riding for minor places in the general classification if this stays the same. It's not just AG2R Citroën. There's other teams in here with multiple numbers. Sacrifice them for your leader. Otherwise, you're not going to win this race overall, because Ben Healy, good time trial. You hold on to the advantage. You might get a little bit closer. The last stage, doable. But there's a big enough group here to cut this advantage down. Of course, I want the strongest man, the best man to win, and that seems to be Ben Healy. But I have to do my job and be very critical of multiple numbers of teams. They put one rider up the front, but why not put another? Look at 3 of them there. There's 3 kilometres to go. 3 of them sitting there, and they're 50 seconds down.
It's a great start. Listen, we mentioned this all week, waiting for the GC action to happen. But again, maybe 1 or 2 many leaders who would be leaders and maybe should be working for other people in their team here if they're not quite on the form, sacrificing themselves today. Of course, it'll all come out in the wash overnight and over the next 3 days, I'm sure. But for now, Ben Healy is on his way to a very, very special ride. When he wins in style, doesn't he? He wins big. He attacks early. We saw it at the Giro. We saw it in Coppian Bartali. The Nationals he won, of course, very different races, we know. And now there's a reaction, but it's too late.
Yep. Far too late. You know, there's still a bit of indecision as well. Israel just kind of placing things. But AG2R, as soon as another team came up, they just knock it off. Completely. There's 4 of them there. One of them was riding. I scratch my head sometimes, Rob. Not a big, huge peloton, but there's 4 riders from AG2R there. You know, they're climbers. I wouldn't say they're great time trialists. If you want to win the race, you've got an opportunity in the final stage. Limit losses against Ben Healy tomorrow. Fantastic ride by the Irishman. Well delivered. And couldn't agree more, Rob, that the strongest man has won, and he's going to take the yellow jersey as well.
900 metres to go for Ben Healy with 25 seconds of a gap. Onto the cobbles for the final time, and it's all uphill to the line here. There's a castle waiting, and today's king is about to cycle to sit on his throne. His robes will be the yellow jersey as new race leader. And EF Education Easy Post, who've ridden all day, who've taken control, who have ridden as a team. Carapaz has been marking behind. The domestiques did their job. They chased back the breakaway, and Healy is about to reap the rewards. Here she's off to try and salvage something. Turns. Making his own comeback now. Remember, they had 25 seconds to make up going into the final kilometre. It's a big ask. There's one more right turn with the castle looming ahead for Ben Healy now. An EF Education Easy Post, a team on the up, are going to try and set this man up for what could well be his first ever stage race win. Yes, there's 2 more days after today to do that. But for now, it's going to be another victory, it seems, in what has been a real breakthrough year. Keep your eye on these 2 chasers. They still can't see him, though. Healy around the corner. And it's Turns now, who's just in front of Healy. One more big effort. It gets steep, it gets nasty. There's a look around. Still that little bit of tension in the air. But Healy surely has this now. They're working hard behind. They keep putting in the turns. But they still can't see him, Brian.
No, they can't. You know, the Queen's Stage and Benny Healy is going to be the king of the castle. But by the looks of things, Towns could be finishing second. Hershey, but where is the peloton? They'll be boring down, but left it far too late.
Here's the final right turn for the 2 chasers, but it's all about the leader. 200 metres to go. Ben Healy fighting with the cobbles. The gradient has provided the biggest challenge, and he's beaten that 3 times throughout these laps. And the rest of the peloton haven't been able to live with him. Healy now with the final few pedal strokes. The GC will still have to be fought for the rest of the week, but he's through the gates of the castle. The yellow jersey waiting for him. And another appearance on the podium. What a year it's been. What a rider this man is. He's done it again from distance. And Ben Healy does another Ben Healy. Stage win in Luxembourg. GC lead with Healy coming across in second place. He'll be trying to fight for the general classification in the final couple of days, as will Dylan Turns. But where were the peloton? Where was the organisation? Lacking in some quarters, and a fight for every second now, trying to keep themselves in the mix as we go to the time trial tomorrow. McNulty's in the game. Vogels is up there. Archie Ryan has put in quite the performance today. And Matteo Jorgensen will come across in this group as well, giving him